Ron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Ron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Ron!
Ron is back once again. This is number 3 for the day. It's been a while since I've done 3 live streams in a day, but I'm very motivated. I got a lot to talk about. Guys, Scientologist, con man, fraudster Grant Cardone is finally getting some of the heat that he deserves. This guy, you know, for a guy who has promoted Scientology, recruited for Scientology, encouraged other people to join Scientology, credits Scientology with his success. Society, popular culture seems very comfortable criticizing Scientology, rightly so, but seems to hesitate, seems to stop short of actually criticizing the people who support and enable Scientology. And I'm not sure what to make of this. Nobody really hesitates to criticize Scientology these days. And yet they do seem to hesitate to call out the people who financially support Scientology and who recruit for them. And Grant Cardone is one of the most prolific and effective recruiters for Scientology and one of the biggest financial supporters. So anyway, let me show you what Forbes.com published a day or two ago about Scientology's, currently I would say Scientology's #1 con man. Soon to be federal inmate, hopefully. The problem with Grant Cardone speaking in street terms to Black professionals. So this article is referring to, change the view here. This article is referring to an interview that Grant Cardone did with Laura Trump last week. And in this interview, Grant Cardone spoke about his real cringy type of online marketing that he does. And he said, you know, this type of marketing makes me cringe when I do it, you know, sitting on the hood of a Rolls Royce, making it rain. And he goes to Laura, he goes, that wouldn't appeal to you, you know, Laura, but there is an audience out there that appeals to. And then he started to go on about how they specifically target the young Black under 40 audience. And he said, you know, he essentially said we have to dumb it down in order to reach that audience. We really dumb it down. We speak in small words. We don't use big words. We keep it tight, concise. You have to wonder, like, does he have absolutely no self-awareness? Anyway, he said out loud what some people would probably just say to themselves. I don't know. Like, on the one hand, I mean, you're sort of damned if you do, you damned. Like, is it better if he didn't say it? Like, is it better that he said it, or would it be better if he didn't say it? I don't know. But anyway, let's carry on here. That's just what this article is referring to. The problem with Grant Cardone speaking in street terms to Black professionals. There's Uncle G himself. I don't know who the hell started calling him Uncle G. I mean, to be honest, he started calling himself Uncle G. Kind of creepy if you ask me. I'm going to skip this first paragraph because it's all about, well, I'm going to skip it. You guys can read it later if you'd like. Hearing popular author and thought leader Grant Cardone's recent comments to Laura Trump about how he speaks to half of his audience who are Black and under the age of 40 is eye-opening and disappointing. Quote, if I see a 55-year-old white man or a 25-year-old Black kid, by the way, someone ought to tell Grant Cardone, if you're 25 years old, you're actually a man, you're no longer a kid. But if I see a 55-year-old white man or a 25-year-old Black kid, the Black kid knows who I am. We go after that audience. We're talking to them in very street terms, not big nomenclature vocabularies. By the way, not big nomenclature vocabularies is the kind of sentence somebody would say when they do not have a big vocabulary. You know, we keep everything very tight and simple. Openly disrespecting Black professionals prompts a critical closer look at who we support as thought leaders and why they deserve your money. Banking on the Black community. Grant Cardone's meteoric rise to fame and fortune is rooted. By the way, I apologize for the Forbes website. It is absolutely littered with ads. Let me see if I can hide these. They're just absurd. Okay. Grant Cardone's meteoric rise to fame and fortune is rooted in a well-documented genesis story of humble means and hustle. This vulnerability, his perceived transparency has drawn a diverse audience, and it's now the same earnest quality prompting backlash. So I have to jump in here. I guess I'll go the Grant Cardone's origin story is as bogus as Grant Cardone's claims that he is a billionaire. Grant Cardone's origin story of bootstrapping and hustle and hard work is just Grant. Those of you out there who have any experience in the multi-level marketing industry, first of all, I'm sorry. The multi-level marketing industry is an industry predicated on selling fraudulent business opportunities. And I know there's a lot of MLMers out there. I understand that. I understand I'm pissing off a lot of people when I start crapping on the MLM industry. But you guys know what it is, and it is what it is. It's an industry predicated on selling fraudulent business opportunities. And the way you are instructed to sell those business opportunities is by working on your story. When you hear someone pitching an MLM, it sounds just like someone pitching Scientology. Before I got involved with fill in the blank, I was sad and depressed and a loner, and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And then I found fill in the blank, and now I'm the complete opposite of all of those things. That is how Grant sells his training courses, his business opportunities, his investment opportunities. He gives you this BS rags to riches story and basically says, buy my course and you can be just like me. That's why Grant Cardone is the Andrew Tate of real estate investing. Okay, I'll get off my little high horse here and get back to the subject at hand. It seems that Cardone's simple insight has never come with a higher price tag for his followers. The most recent 3-day 10X growth conference featured Tom Brady as a speaker, costing attendees $1,500 to $20,000 per ticket. Presently, the Cardone Alliance program, an online course, is discounted from $35,000 to only $9,750 for a limited time, and includes 2 tickets to a premium summit and training valued at $170,000 each. Well, gosh darn it, that sounds like a straight up discount. I mean, that sounds like a steal by now. But wait, there's more. Okay, now she's about to introduce something, in my opinion, without introducing it adequately. Okay, so she's about to refer to a program called The Breakfast Club, hosted by Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy. They just recently, I'll change the view here real quick. Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy and one of the other co-hosts, I think her name is Angela Yee, perhaps. They just did a segment essentially crapping all over Grant Cardone. Just so you know, that's what she's about to refer to. Okay. As an avid reader, I've purchased many of Cardone's books over the years and could relate to radio show hosts of The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy's dismay. Quote, you guys follow him and spend all this money, but you see how he looks at you. He looks at you as a check. He looks at you as green, DJ Envy said. Envy seemed to draw a line in the sand for listeners of the show. You can continue to follow that man if you want, but he's not trying to help your community. He's just trying to make millions and billions of dollars off of you. Again, I just want to say, Grant Cardone does not have billions of dollars. Grant Cardone does not even have $1 billion. Grant Cardone is not worth on paper $1 billion or more dollars. It's part of his scam. It's part of his hustle. And anyone who's actually a professional in the real estate investing space or the fund management space can look at what Grant Cardone has going on and know beyond any shadow of a doubt, the guy's not a billionaire. And the irony of Forbes writing this article, Forbes should actually be the platform to call Grant Cardone out on fraudulently claiming to be a billionaire. I mean, Forbes is the one who puts the billionaire list together, and Grant Cardone isn't on it. All right, let's keep going. Cardone's openness on his tactics towards Black professionals was off-putting for Charlemagne. He's basically saying he dumbs down what he is saying as if the Black audience is dumb. Black professionals deserve respect and valuable career insight. We seek expert business voices and thought leaders, yet how and where can they be found in a homogenous landscape? Okay, so let's see. Okay. Finding trustworthy experts. Identifying an expert to follow comes down to values and how that leader gives back to the community they serve. It may take more time to discover author Rachel Cargill or investor and founder Arlen Hamilton, but it's definitely worth the search. Okay, so I don't know who those people are, but the author seems to be assuming that the reader does. Okay, moving on. Someone may be an expert, but we want to ensure that they are Okay, I'm moving on. One way to identify intentionality is by following how and to whom a thought leader donates. Quote, I prefer to listen to John Hope Bryant, said Charlemagne. A person like Bryant connects with Black people because he is a Black person. He pours into our community in a real way. He's not just telling people how they can get rich. He puts his money where his mouth is when it comes to his community. Okay. I'm not intending to read everything here. So let me just check something. Dun, 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 dun. Nope. Nope. All right. Last paragraph. Striving for equity doesn't require thought leaders to be perfect. However, when they miss the mark, it helps to interrupt the deluge of scheduled tweets to acknowledge a misstep. Cardone has yet to admit that he has alienated half of his audience through his careless comments. Maybe it's time for self-proclaimed experts to listen to the folks they say they serve through endless products, seminars, and slash-down sales tactics. Now, this is interesting here. I want to focus on this sentence. Cardone has yet to admit that he has alienated half of his audience through his careless comments. Guys, I'm not actually totally sure what to think about this. The author here seems to be focusing in on the fact that his comments were careless. Is she saying he shouldn't have said it, or is he saying she's not taking issue with the fact that his comments reflected what he really is doing and thinking and saying and whatever? She's just taking issue with the fact that he said it out loud. I don't agree with that particular critique. There might be a greater conversation to be had here of, is Cardone's strategy working? I'm sort of criticizing Cardone's words because Cardone's words reflect the fact that he thinks the Black community is dumb. Like, that's a ridiculous thing to think and say and believe. What's somewhat troubling is that he's offering this up as the explanation for how he's been able to get, he claims, over half of his audience is Black under the age of 40. So if Cardone is sitting there going, the reason half of our audience is Black under 40 is because we target them. And the way we target them is we speak to them as if they're dumb. Okay, so that's his approach. But here's the thing. If his marketing team is specifically targeting a Black audience, and they happen to be targeting that audience with marketing that speaks to them as if they're dumb, that doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't make it true that the way to reach that audience is to speak to them as if they're dumb. It's almost like you have a chicken and the egg problem. It's like, did he try target? Because you can target a population or a community marketing wise. Targeting them is different than how you create the ad to begin with. You can create, like, you can film and record a commercial, then you can choose what audience you want to reach with your commercial, by deciding what programs you want to air it on, what channels, what markets, what time, what times of day, that kind of stuff. Who you target with your material is not the same thing as how you create the material to begin with. So I'm actually trying to separate two issues that Grant Cardone seems to be turning into one issue. I'm under the impression that Cardone's people chose to target the Black community and chose to do it with dumbed down material. But you don't have to make that decision. You can target the Black community with the same material you target the white community. Anyway, I'm sort of like, none of this really matters right now. But what I'm taking issue with sort of is that even in this Forbes article, the author only seems to be criticizing Grant Cardone for saying something out loud. She doesn't actually seem to be criticizing him for his actual actions, which is interesting, is all I will say. So guys, I don't have some greater thing to report here. I just wanted to share with you what Forbes was reporting. The fact that this is appearing in Forbes is hugely bad for Grant Cardone. The criticism on Cardone and his dumbing down to the Black community has been pretty widespread on YouTube over the last week. It's crept onto Twitter. It's crept into Clubhouse. Clubhouse is where Cardone seems to do a lot of his marketing these days. He's been getting absolutely roasted and dragged on YouTube, Twitter, and Clubhouse for the last week and a half. The fact that Forbes is publishing something, man, oh man, Grant Cardone's not having a good couple weeks. Never mind the FBI investigation. Never mind, the government looking into his finances, his planes, his helicopters, his properties. Where's the money coming from? Which one of Grant Cardone's businesses do you think is actually throwing off enough cash flow to pay for jets and mansions and helicopters? Because I'll tell you what's not throwing off that much cash flow. A bunch of commercial apartment properties. Not throwing off that kind of cash flow. I know I have said that Cardone Capital isn't exactly a Ponzi scheme. But who knows? Maybe it is. All right, everybody. Sorry, guys. I think I have one more subject I want to discuss in a live stream before our 7 p.m. Mondays with Mike. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. More to come. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.